Damn straight. You know what this is, and you know why we are here. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Often imitated, never duplicated. How's everybody doing around the world? I hope things are well. I hope things are well in your world, no matter where you are in this world. Robert Hogg, what's up in Scotland, man? My man. Ray Hogan, what do you say? How's Connecticut, buddy? All right. Good. John in London. Good. The gang's all here. Mary Elizabeth Carter. Love this band. Well, you come to the right place if you love Slapshot. We got a great guest on today. We're going to go deep. We're going to go deep. We're going to get weird. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go deep. We're going to get weird. So good. I missed you. And I hope you missed me. Even that much. Still riding high from the Ian MacKay show. Wow. That certainly was a jolt of inertia to this show. God, interesting. That show like pulled everything up. You know, it's great. Hey, Ann, how you doing? I know, Ann. Look who's on the show today, huh? Let's welcome back Ann. She was here in the beginning when we started this thing. I'm so happy to see you back, Ann. Hey, Monster, what do you say? You know? Hey, listen, I pull it together for this show, Monster. You know? That said, speaking of going deep and getting weird, what's up?
What's up? Greetings from the deep, weird Queens.
Right. The deepest and weirdest part of Queens.
I got to say, Ann is an awesome photographer, by the way.
She's great. She's absolutely great. And she sent me a lot of great shots with today's guest. Hey, let's start with this, man. Did you see this fucking show going on in LA? This fucking wild ass one-day show
my God, yeah,
in LA?
At first, I wasn't even sure if this was real because I was like, wait, how are we doing some of this? But then they announced that Power Trip has a new singer.
Right.
And that I'm not sure who's singing for Sublime now because I know they got rid of Rome. So, but I mean, Misfits, Social D, Bad Religion, Iggy, Suicidal, Turnstile,
The Damned,
this is
fucking Black Flag, TSOL, The Exploited.
This is bananas.
Crass, the Crass thing, Stevie
Nicks
Crass thing.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Morning Noise. You know, like
Steve Zing, nice. Yeah, no, this is crazy.
It's one day. I think I've been here. I think it's on the. It's. I think I've been to this. I've been to the Pomona racetrack. I don't know if it's the same place. Who's flying out for this? Not me. Fuck that.
Send me, Drew. I'll go on location.
That's like a nightmare. I have nightmares about shit like this. Like, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go to Pomona and you're gonna be out under the hot sun all day, and there's gonna be 300 bands playing, and it's gonna take 6 hours to get out of there. The food's gonna be there's gonna be nothing to eat, and you're gonna get sunstroke. Yeah.
Well, you know, speaking of big shows, the other big news that we just saw like an hour before today's show, Slayer is back.
Wait, I got the flyer. Slayer's back, right? Fuck.
I mean, it's only been 5 years since the farewell
5 years.
tour.
5 years. It feels like it was like last week that I saw them at Madison Square Garden. And here you go. They're playing Riot Fest.
Yep. Riot Fest and Louder Than Live as well. You know what? I guess you can't say no to that big fat paycheck, though, you know?
It's interesting. It's like, what's weird is like Kerry King just announced his whole band and everything.
Yeah.
And like now it's like Slayer's playing. It's like,
yeah. I mean, like, I don't know if it's going to help or hurt the new
Tom
band.
Araya must have been like, look, Tom, you play these two shows, you make $1 million. $1 million.
Maybe more.
Between merch and two shows, he probably, my guesstimate would be with each show and merch and this and that, he probably could walk away with $500,000 a show. My estimate, he's looking at $1 million. So he's like, yeah, play $1 million. I got to put my kids in college, you know.
Well, you guys get like $500,000 to play, right?
It depends. It depends. When we play the Barry Electric, like on Sunday, which actually good. That was a good segue. That was really hats off to that. Hats off. Where's the great shot of us at the Bowery Electric on Sunday? Hold on, I gotta find it. Anyway, I'll find it. Here it is. Okay.
Here it is.
So when we play the Bowery Electric, like this shot that you took on Sunday, listen, it's Jesse's place. You know, I don't want to stick it to him. I'll be honest with you. We get like a little over $250,000 to play. You know, that's because, you know, it's all ages. It's free. I don't want to stick it to the guy.
Got to pay for the pyro, the lighting.
Yeah, you know. I got to pay for the hummus, right, Lori Dawn?
The hummus.
All the hummus. So, yeah.
Oh, man. I got to tell you, we've been on a roll, I think, with shows lately. And
we destroyed the joint on Sunday, man.
This was a crusher, this show. This really was. And I thought everybody, you know what was great? Everyone showed up from the very first band. The place was packed. Like,
well,
nobody casually walked in. For the first band walked in and they had a full house. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was great. And this is the first band. This was Neck Scars, right?
Yes. Which featuring our friend Will Romeo, who's a tremendous individual and actually made an appearance with you guys later in the evening as well.
Yeah, well, he's our go-to guy if Sean, our guitar player in Incendiary Device, can't do it.
You keep him behind glass, like break glass for a guitar player.
He's already played with us. Listen, in this day and age, guys in bands my age, dare I say, you have to have like an A team and a B team, and you can't just sit around. Everyone go, my wife, my kid, you know, my fucking. Listen, I said this before. I'll say it again. If you're in a band with me, I don't give a fuck about your kid, your wife, your fucking job. It's fucking rock and roll. I don't want to fucking hear it. And I know this is a controversial stance to take, but if that's like, just don't be in a band with me then. So that said,
you're cruel but just leader.
Yeah, I'm mean but fair. Here we go. It's non-residents, right?
Yes.
And, it was Roberto's birthday. You know.
Yep, that's his brother, by the way.
Yeah,
and
they were great.
They're always great. Who, of course, we had. We have these guys here. I'm even wearing the shirt. If you can see here, I got my Long Wait shirt on. First time I got to see them.
Yeah,
and
there you go. The Long Wait.
The Long Wait.
There you go.
And they were a lot of fun. In fact, that was a pretty nice segue into today's guest as well, with some Boston alumni in there.
Well, not just some Boston alumni, but it's three guys that used to be in Slapshot.
Right, and of course Jamie from SSD.
Yeah, where's this? There's a cool picture. Where is it? Oh, here it is. This is a cool picture you took. Now, I've known Jamie since 1981. He was in the first band the first hardcore band that I ever saw, right? So here's me introducing the Long Wait, and specifically my friend Jamie. You know, all the years our two bands have never played on the same stage together. Actually, in 1982 or 82, I think, when I was in my first band, the Mighty COs, we were supposed to play with SSD Control, and I ended up getting kicked out of the band, or for whatever the reason.
Did they play that show without you or no?
No.
Good.
Fuck them. Yeah, I'm still bitter about that, man. I still hold a grudge about that. Like, you know.
And who else did we have? Crazy Eddie, of course.
Wait, I got that one here. Crazy Eddie's always great, man.
Yeah, they did all new material that day from the new 7-inch.
Yeah, they were good. Crazy Eddie's a good hardcore band. They play like Crazy Eddie's a hardcore band. I like them.
Yeah,
you know.
But we were just discussing the different genres inside the genres, and they really are. They're so much fun. I love singing along with them.
Yeah. What are you, a singer now?
Prices are insane. Prices.
Price.
I love that
what?
song.
This is a great shot that you took, right? And I was going to say something on stage. It's so weird now when they put this thing up. It's like when you're on stage screaming your brains out, you have Debbie Harry and Johnny and Joey Ramone like lounging on a couch staring at you off to the side. It's like this weird fucking thing, you know?
And Lori Dawn too.
Yeah, Lori, right. But you have like Debbie Harry, and they're like lying on a couch watching you, and you're like, ah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, no, we got everybody. We got Long Wait. I think we got all the bands there. Yeah, it was really
and then wait, here's a couple people showed up that was great. Jimmy Hazel.
Yeah. From 24/7 Spies.
24/7 Spies. There he is with Larry Kelly. And Paris Mayhew came through. I got a shot of that. Here's a shot of Paris Mayhew of Agros, formerly Cro-Mags, with some of the WOTPs, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a great afternoon.
It really was. It was, you know what? Like, I just feel like the last 5 or 6 shows, like the momentum is like really, really building now, you know?
Yeah.
And
listen, we packed the room. That's all I can say. All I can say is no one has packed out. No, the most crowded that room has ever been has been the last 2 times we played.
It's true.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
It's true. I'll tell
you. And the truth be told, like we don't even want to. We're never going to play anywhere else. So fuck it.
Why
if you want to see Incendiary Device, come to the Bowery Electric.
Why should you? You know what? You're doing a residency. That's what you're like, a Vegas residency. You know, you got to get the gold LeMay jacket now. You know, and
listen, with the Jamokes in my band, it's about all they can handle. You know, my wife, my kid, my job,
my 2 Emmy Awards.
Oh my.
Hey, those guys, say what you will, that band crushed it, man.
Listen, I give my guys a hard time, but we got it going on right now, you know.
What's up, Rich Solar?
Scott Earth, you know. My wife, my kid.
And you know what? I gotta tip my hat to Scott Earth. He had a show that day, and he hung out at our show the whole day.
Scott Earth's smart. He knows.
You know. And I heard they were great too.
You think Scott Earth wanted to be there? He didn't want to be there. He fucking knew he fucking had to be there. Motherfucker. He knew he was playing a show saying that he knew he better show his face.
Yeah.
He knew that.
Smart and guy. You know what? Scott, and shout out to Rob Castorio, because that show was a benefit for his mom, and he's a great guy. We love that guy. So
Frankie Too Far, what's up, brother? Yep. Yeah.
See, look at all our people here. This is great.
All right. So let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's get to it. I'll talk to you in a bit.
I'll be here in the box.
All right. Talk to you later. You got it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, the Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, Mad Vintage, and 126 Hardcore Clothing. They're a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your weak-ass clothing game at www.126clothing.com. That said, let's clear the deck. Let's bring our guest on. Let's get down to brass tacks, as they say. Today's guest is an American bassist, songwriter, promoter, and barber hailing from the Bay State of Massachusetts. He's known for his work with the bands Stars and Stripes, Tenebrae, American War Machine, and of course, Slapshot. Please welcome, coming at us from Quincy, Mass., Mr. Ryan Packer. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up? Dude, before we get going, she's Belgian. Her name is Anne, not Anne. She hates it when you call her Anne. What's up, Anne?
Anne! I knew that. I was just fucking with you. And I should know that.
Yeah, her and I go way back. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she is the biggest Slapshot Ryan Packer supporter on the planet Earth, man.
And my son, too. She supports my kid, too. She's very good to Harlan. So thanks, Anne. Appreciate you.
Anne, I am sorry. Yeah. So, good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. I got a good feeling about it, you know. Hey, can you relate to the being in a band, the wife, the kid, the job, the this, the that? I mean,
yeah,
you've been in bands your whole adult life, man.
Yeah, since my first gig, like real gig, I was 19 years old. I didn't have a girlfriend or a wife or any of that shit. But like now I got 2 ex-wives. I got a kid. You know, my buddies all have kids and wives and all that. Like, yeah, it definitely it changes things for sure.
Yeah,
definitely changes things.
But you get out there a lot though. You I mean, you're a working musician. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I still get after it, and you know, you still get those. It's funny, man. People are like, oh man, I wish I could do that. Like, I wish I could do. It's like, motherfucker, I got bills, I got shit I got to do. You just still got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to go away.
Yeah. What's interesting, what I find in a lot of regards, is people think they want to be successful with their band. They don't even understand what that means. You know, they have no idea that, you know, what that really means. You know.
Yeah, there's a ton of sacrifice, you know. Like,
yeah.
I mean, my kid's getting a little older now. He you know, he's 4, so he knows when I'm away now. Like, obviously, the first couple of years, he didn't really know what was going on. But I mean, Jack's kids are shit in their 20s now. But you know, for the last 20-something years, you know, like we'd be on the road, you'd see them, they'd come out and hang out. They didn't really give a shit about the band, but they'd kind of come through every now and again, you know.
Jack has 2 girls, right?
He does, yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that the first hardcore show I ever went to was with Jack Kelly?
No shit.
In 1981.
What show was that?
SSD Control.
In New York?
No, SSD. No, I went up to Boston to go to college. I went to Emerson College. Jack was going to Emerson College at the same time.
Oh, no shit. You know what? I knew that, actually. Yeah.
I met him in the cafeteria. He had his head shaved. I was like, what the fuck is this, man? I was like, and he tried to explain it to me, and I was like, you know, how do you explain it in 1981? How do you explain something like that to somebody, you know? So he said, look, I'm going to a show this weekend. Why don't you just come with me? So that weekend, we went to Boylston Street to this place called the Media Workshop, and SSD Control was playing. I saw the SSD's 3rd show.
Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
And then I just fell in with those guys. So there you go. But, you know, Jack Kelly brought me to my first hardcore show.
That's very interesting. So Emerson, he told me a story about Emerson that Dennis Leary was his comedy teacher when he went there.
That's right.
Did you have that class also? Did you take it with Dennis Leary?
No, I didn't, but I knew that he was teaching there. I didn't.
That's crazy.
And also understand he wasn't successful yet.
Oh, right. Know? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of before, you know, before he blew up really fast, Dennis Leary. He was great, you know. But you know who else was an alumni? I think Henry Winkler, the Fonz, was an Emerson alumni.
I can't picture him walking around Boston.
You know what happened to me, man? I went to Emerson, a teenager, came up from New York, got taken to my first SSD Control show, saw what was going on with this exciting, vibrant, scene, and like, how could you go to school after that? Like, it was like fucking 13th grade. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck this. I just shaved my head. I want to fucking roll with the fucking Boston crew, and let's fucking do it. And my life zigged instead of zagged. You know how that goes, right?
Oh yeah. So that's cool, man.
Yeah. So let's bounce the ball back and forth a little bit. So how did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
So not at all, man. Not at all. I don't know. I came from nothing, man. I got, never met my mother. My dad was like a dude that I knew. I was raised by my aunts and uncles and all that. Like nobody musical in my life. Like I fell into music, punk rock, like everybody else, right? I had nowhere else to go. And like,
was there music as a child? Was there music, as a kid, as a young teenager? Like, what music did you hear? Like,
I mean, like growing up, like my aunt and uncle, like they listen to like fucking Kenny Rogers and shit like that. Like it wasn't even like anything remotely cool. But I had cousins that were into like some cooler shit, like King Diamond and all that. And I was like, all right, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? So I started listening to that stuff, and then they get me to like AC/DC and like a little more tamer shit because I was fucking 10 or whatever. But yeah, like, there was no like huge musical background until I was like 12, 13, getting into like punk rock and all that. Like, I mean, my first tape that I ever bought at the store was AC/DC, Who Made Who. That was, I don't know what the fuck year that was. I don't know, 90, 88, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that was it. Like I fell into punk rock, and that's what spoke to me. That was like,
what was the first like punk rock that came onto your like radar screen?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you like the first like records that like I first really heard. Like that's an interesting question because like there's always like the entry level shit that were like you hear like Op Ivy and like the Clash and shit like that.
Yeah.
And, like it's like whatever. And then like I remember like when I got into like Warzone and Sheer Terror and shit like that, then I was like, oh fuck, like what is this? When it's like my first shows. It was like an early kid with Blood for Blood at the Rat and all that. Like when they were fucking singing about finding each other in a world of nothing, I was like, oh fuck, this resonates with me,
Sure.
And so I got more into hardcore.
Was that when you were in high school and stuff? Was that?
Yeah. I was freshman in high school. Yeah, that summer going into my freshman year, it was like my first shows at the Rat and all that, like mid 90s.
When the Rat was still the Rat and Kenmore Square was still grimy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was scared shitless.
Right.
Absolutely scared shitless. Getting Mr. Butch to buy us 40s and hanging out in the alley. And
I remember it well. Yeah, it's an interesting. Kenmore Square was an interesting place in Boston back then. It was almost like dare I say like Boston's Times Square kind of.
It was definitely like an eclectic spot. Like you had college kids mixing. With street kids and like there were all the clubs there at the time. And, then the restaurant, random stores, like there was that cool clothing store that was up above the Rat for a little bit and all that. And it was cool. Like as a kid, like being exposed to all that shit, like Boston was a weird place and I needed weird. I needed to open my eyes and see that shit. And I was like, all right, cool. I relate to this.
Yeah. And it was also, and I know it didn't change from, I was there until 83, and we're talking about you being in Kenmore Square a couple years later, but it was also Boston's a college town. There's a lot of young people. There's a lot of energy, and there's always a high level of intensity. Kenmore Square. You got fucking Red Sox games coming out. There's always you gotta keep your eyes open. You just. There's always that. Yeah,
it was a violent place back then. Like it was the fucking Wild West. Lansdowne Street. You'd have like a hardcore show getting out. They'd push everybody out so they could have like the techno night come in, and then a Red Sox game would be getting out, and all at the same time. And you're 21 years old. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Gonna get wild.
What's I know. Didn't you join the National Guard when you were in high school?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
My father was.
Tell us about that. That's really interesting. And why and how did that go down?
Yeah. So I mean, like in high school, like I like punk rock and hardcore and all that, but like I always gravitated more towards like the skinhead stuff, and I was skinhead in high school, and my father was a career military guy, and I was a terrible student. I knew I wasn't going to college, so I was like, all right, let me figure something out. And so I joined the National Guard. They had a deal at the time where he's a kid. Did I send you that? I have a picture of me in the military. I didn't send that to you.
No. How old are you here? You think teenager?
That is 19 years old. That is on the Warped Tour '99.
Wow.
I was working for Dropkick Murphys back then.
Wow. So you got a lot. Okay, not to veer off, but you got a lot of work done early on, huh?
The tattoos?
Tattoos, yeah.
Yeah. That dragon on my shoulder, Juan Fuente did that in San Francisco at 222 Tattoo. Like, wow. 99 is when I started that.
So the National Guard. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
So I digress. Yeah. So yeah, man, I was a 17-year-old kid, like I was gonna barely graduate. Like I literally like C&D student. They had a thing called split option training. So you can go to boot camp the summer between your junior and senior year of high school. So my old man signed off on the papers. He was stoked, and that was it. I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Was that June of '97?
Was it your idea?
Yeah, I was like, that's why I went National Guard, because I was like, oh, if it sucks, whatever. It's just like 1 week in a month or whatever.
Sure.
And again, this is pre 9/11. Like it wasn't like there were no heroes in the military. It was all shitheads, what I mean? Going to college, dumbass. Like it was definitely like a different time of looking at the military.
But even joining National Guard, do you go through basic training? You go
You do your basic training. You have to do AIT, all that shit, and then you just do your 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year.
Thank God it's like if you're gonna do it when you're a teenager, right? When you're young.
I was fine with like all the physical stuff, and like I actually gained weight, and like I was eating healthy and like exercising for the first time, but I never got over like I was tired the whole time, man. I was like, I could not get used to just being like 3-4 hours of sleep. But I mean, I do it now in my 40s, but like at the time, I was like, "Fuck this, dude!"
Yeah.
So yeah, I got home from that. I went back. So now I'm combat ready, right? I put on like 15, 20 pounds. I'm like, I got all the attitude and all that, and like, teen angst and all that's still there.
Right.
And I go back to high school, and everyone's like, "All right, cool. You're gonna go, when the bell rings, you're going to run down to the hall and go to your next class and all that." And like, it just didn't jive at all. And like, I was fighting with kids, and I ended up getting thrown out of school my senior year. And then to maintain my contract with the Army, I had to get my GED. So before my class even graduated, I went to the Raytheon building out in Western Mass, and like I sat in this room for 8 hours and just banged out my GED. And they're like, "All right, cool." I'm like, that was it. I went out to AIT shortly after that.
And you mentioned drop kicks. Was that the first time like sort of you went out like real kind of music gig?
Yeah. So like I played in like bullshit bands in high school and all that, and then I was living in Mission Hill with a girl. One of the roommates, all the girls would go to Mass Art. One of the roommates was talking to Rick Barton. I was in the National Guard still. I was working at a record shop. Rick Barton walks into my house. He's trying to hang out with my roommate, and I thought it was weird. I was like, "He's an older guy, whatever." Like she was young, so I'm making fun of him.
It was a different time.
I mean, nothing happened, but like I was definitely making fun of him. I was like, "This fucking pervert." So breaking his balls, and then that's how we got to talking. And then he was like, "Look, we need a guitar tech. Do you want to come out?" And this was Sunday morning, and I left. I was like, "Yeah, cool." I called work and quit, and I left Wednesday. And
did you have that skill set, like as a guitar?
Not at all. Not at all.
Seems a bit odd.
Yeah. He's like, "I just need a guy to like move gear." Like at the time, like they were a 4-piece and they were playing in front of like maybe 200 kids at the time. So that's all they needed. They needed just a guy to like hump gear.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I could do that. He's like, what would you need? I'm like, $250 a week. He's like, fucking hired. And that's all I needed at the time. I didn't have a cell phone and have credit cards. Like,
And those are the laminates that are around your neck here.
yeah. Those are Warped Tour laminates right there. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I don't know what I'm doing. Like, there's like a car on my lap. I don't know. My Happy Meal. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's a real story. I got the job. I left on Wednesday, and then I was on the road with them. Literally, like we'd be on the road for 6 weeks. I'd be home for a day or two. We'd go back out. We'd literally go from one tour straight to the next. Like I wouldn't even go home. I'd have to have the tour manager mail a check home to pay my rent because I didn't even have a checkbook. Like she would have to do it for me. It was like pre smartphones and all that. Like it was a wild time.
But that's a great adventure for a young person.
Oh yeah. I'd have to fly home. I'd go to drill and like I'd fly back.
What is going on here? What's going on here?
Oh, that's Motorhead, Dropkick Murphys, and Hatebreed Open. 99.
That's a bill right there, huh?
Yeah. Scarhead actually was on the bill for the first like 3 or 4 shows.
Is that Demi? Is that Demi with the Queen shirt on?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
I see you in the back with Lemmy.
Yeah. Those wild times, man. Like I didn't take any pictures. I didn't save anything from like those days. And like again, like I would come home from tour and like all my shit would be in a pile. I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm moving. And I'd move apartments and all that. Like I just lost everything. Like even if I wanted to hang on to it. But
yeah.
It just never crossed my mind to like take more pictures or like do any of that. It was just life. You know, I was 19 years old, that picture. You know?
Sure. Yeah, I see Mickey D, man. He's
still going. He's still going.
Great, man.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Oh, Eddie Medina says Scarhead played that West Coast lineup. Okay.
Yeah. They were on the first couple of shows, and then I guess some money went missing or something, and then they were no longer on the bill.
Oh, that infamous story.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I don't want to speculate.
Oh, it was that tour.
Yeah, it's not my business. I was a kid.
You know what? Why go there?
Yeah. Not my business. But it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
I learned a lot.
I stepped in that bear trap. Anyway, you mentioned dicking around in bands before then. Were you playing bass? How did you arrive at picking up a bass, coming from not really a musician background?
Yeah, I like the idea of being in bands and all that. Like I was terrible at skateboarding. Like I was decent at sports, but sucked at skateboarding. And I was like, I gotta do something. And you know, when I was getting into music and all that, you know, the guitar player's like, he's up there and he's like, you know, they get the front guys up front, and the guitar player's up front. I'm like, well, I want to be up there, but like, I don't need to be like up front like that. I'm like, I'll just be a bass player. I'm like, and that was it. Like,
and it's 4 strings. It's kind of easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like, I can wrap my brain around that. Yeah. So like, yeah, that was really like the thought of it. I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of it, but like, I don't need to be like the dude. And
did you take to it easy? What was it? Somewhat.
No. I'm a terrible bass player, bro. I'm persistent. That's all it is, dude. I'm persistent.
You have a work ethic, man.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you know, I've been gracious enough to gracious. What's the word? I've been lucky enough to play with a lot of good guys, and you know, you pick up a little. I learned a lot playing with Craig Silverman, great guitar player. But like, you know, like they play with good guys. Like they can push it. You can take a little bit, you know, their style and kind of develop your own. But yeah, growing up, like all the bands that I was super into had good bass players, and like I didn't really think about it until this interview. I was like, wow, like you know, the Warzone and Sheer Terror and you know all that stuff. It wasn't. They had great bass players, and it wasn't. I don't know. I love Blood for Blood, but like you know, let's see, old Gina, great girl, but you know, she was an amazing bass player. Like it was more like the lyrics for that band and all that for me. But yeah, like even like Brett from Ignite, like when I first heard Ignite, I was like, holy shit, like this is bass playing, and that resonated with me, you know, like, and I still aspire to be at that level, you know, but it's
I think to a certain extent you have, because just knowing a lot of your output, I think once you sort of settle down, I think a lot of the Slapshot stuff and the American War Machine stuff, I think your bass is super solid and super prominent, and I love your fucking bass tone, man. I really
Thank
do.
you, man. Thank you.
You know, because this is just me talking. You know, it's like what I like is when the bass is banging and it's out there, you know, and it's not buried in a bunch of shit, and like you're hammering it, man, and I like that, you know.
Yeah. I do like overdriven bass and all that you get a lot, especially like in that style of War Machine, you know. But
Yeah.
I like it to be a little clearer and cut through a little bit and complement the guitar, as opposed to just adding to like the overall warmth and noise of everything else that's going on. I like it to cut a little bit more. I like my ESP basses, man. They seem to do that for me. So
yeah,
it's working out.
Absolutely. What kind of strings do you put on those basses?
GHS boomers is what I've been playing.
Yeah,
they seem to do all right. Like I'll get like a couple shows out of each of them, so
yeah,
good enough.
Because they're definitely twanging, man. You know what I mean. They're definitely cutting through those with, yeah. Was you mentioned Craig Silverman? Was Craig in your band Tenebrae? Could you tell us about that band? That was before Slapshot, right?
That was before Slapshot. Yeah,
tell us about it.
So yeah, Mark Unseen and EK from Warzone and Dom, who was in Fit for Abuse and For the Worst and all that, and they started a band. Asked me to play. Like I went down. Like it went well. We started writing some songs. Craig was just. I don't know if Craig was still in Blood for Blood at the time, but he was in Slapshot. But yeah, he had some time, and like he had heard us. It was like, wow, man, this is a fucking great band. So like after a couple practices, I was like, dude, you want to like come down and play with us? And not even aware that like he'd be like, yeah. He was like, oh, that sounds awesome. I'm like, oh shit, like. So yeah, he just came down and like just kind of rounded out the whole package, and that was fun. It was very short lived, but it was a lot of fun. I'm still very close with Mark. He's a great guy.
And you did would you do like an EP and a couple split 7-inches? Yeah,
we did a 7-inch, an EP, and then a split with Panzer Bastard, Keith Bennett's band.
Keith Bennett, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And again, like it was maybe 2 years, and then Craig was playing in Ramallah, so Craig got Dom from Tenebrae to play in Ramallah with him for a little while, and then Slapshot needed a bass player, so then I got taken from that band and started playing with Slapshot, and then the rest is history. I was too busy to do anything else.
How did the actually before we get into like how the call in from Slapshot, I mean, sort of you were doing touring. You went out with Street Dogs. You were basically kind of out on the road really before the big call came in for Slapshot, right?
Yeah. I was a production guy mostly, right? So I came up with DKM, and then that's where I met Johnny Rio back in the 90s. And then Johnny's been my big brother since. Like anything that he was ever involved with, I was involved with. You know, like when he was playing with Roger and the Disasters, I was helping out with that. And then the Street Dogs thing started, and he was just trying to like keep me out of trouble, man, keep me off the streets, because I was just being an idiot. And he's like, yo, I'm doing this. Come over here and check it out. Right. So we'd go out and whatever band it was, but like when the Street Dogs started, we knew it was kind of serious. So like I took it a little more seriously and tried to learn my craft a little bit, like become a better guitar tech, understand what a stage manager was, understand what a tour manager did and all that. And so I ended up working for them off and on essentially their entire career. Like when they started in 2003, I was there, and then I was there at the end. And I don't even know what the 2015 or whatever they broke up.
Yeah. I love the record that he just did with Dickie Barrett, man. The Defiant record.
Defiant, fantastic. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Those guys are starting to play some cool shows, and they're coming through Boston soon, I think. So I'm excited to see them.
Yeah, that record is really produced well, good songwriting. It's I don't want to say it's rare, but every now and then I'll have a guest on like yourself or like Dickie. I'll do my homework. I'll listen to stuff, and even after the show's done, I'll go back and listen to that stuff. And the Defiant is one of those things. That record's really good. I really like it a lot. I know that I know that before sort of the Slapshot thing, you got the call. You went to Mass School of Barbering, right? And I know this is a passion of yours, and I want to, and I have a quote. Let me quote, because I was gonna say, why a barber? And I'm quoting you from another interview. A kid was telling us about a barbershop all the bands went to when we were in town, and I thought, oh shit, that would be cool to do back home. It took a few years, but I went to school, and I've been balancing both careers ever since. Is that still?
Yeah. That was it. That was when I was on tour with DKM again. Like we didn't have smartphones or any of that. Like, we were out for a couple of weeks. It was like the local kid would be like, oh, this is where everyone gets their haircut. You got to go check out the shop. It's famous. And
Sure.
So yeah, it's like Rob's Chop Shop down in Texas. And
So
we were there, and like, some pictures on the wall and all that shit. And I was like, all right, like that's kind of cool. And this is, again, I was 19, 20 years old at the time. And I was like, this rock star shit don't work out. I'll just become a barber. I like that. I like the idea of not having
Did you ever have any background cutting hair or anything like that? It just seemed like a trade that like appealed to you.
Yeah, I was hanging out in the barbershop. I was like, all right, I could do this. Like this is kind of a cool vibe, I get down with it. And so yeah, I was 24, got a little mixed up, right? So I was on parole, and I had to get a real job. So I took that opportunity because I was on parole, that with the grants and loans and all that good stuff, I was able to kind of use that in my favor. I went to barber school with the rest of the shitheads, and 18 years later, I'm still cutting hair. I'm still playing music, but it's been great, man. I do love it. It's changed dramatically, and 20 years or whatever I've been doing this. But yeah, it's when I started, it was a couple old timers in a barbershop just grinding it out for
right.
$10 haircuts. Now
Sure.
Now, dude, my barbershop, it's $47 for a haircut. Right? Like some guys do 45-minute haircuts, an hour haircut. Like there's an element of hairdressing that is involved now. Yeah. There's guys that are trying to be famous being barbers, and that good for them, but that's not me. I'm just an old school barber. You're like Rocky. Like I'm a ham and eggs guy, right? Like that's all the doctors love me. They come in, they get 20-minute haircut. It's nice. It's right. Thanks for coming. See you later.
Yeah. I'm a little bit in that world. My girlfriend's a hairdresser, so she cuts hair. So she's in the salon a lot. So and Michael DeRoy asks, doesn't Show cut hair too? Yes, and Johnny Rio, right?
Johnny Rio is a barber down in Texas, and
right.
Jack is no longer cutting hair. He was a hairdresser, 20 years ago. He actually tried to get into barbering, and it's just a totally different animal.
Is it like, because that's interesting. So Jack was a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
Is that predominantly that's female?
That's female hair. Yeah. That's a totally really different license in Massachusetts. Like. That's it. Like he's doing.
He grew up in P-Town, didn't he?
He did grow up in P-Town, yeah.
There you go.
But like he tried to cross over and become a barber, but he wasn't feeling it. So that's that. But yeah, he's no longer cutting hair. He doesn't. He's just Jack. He doesn't work at all that I know of.
He's a character, man. He's an interesting character, and you've had quite a history with him. I mean. So let's get to the Slapshot thing. I mean, personally, I think he's one of the greatest hardcore frontmen out there ever. That guy's a great frontman, and I've seen him doing. I've known him since 1981. He's a guy that has carried the flag and has hardcore in his heart since the early 80s. People come and go. That dude's still at it. 60 years old, man.
Yeah. He's a really interesting guy. You know,
Yeah.
and he's a lot of fun to work with. He's a pain in the ass. He's everything. He's a little everything, right? But I've been in the band, I don't know, 13 years now. Like, you know, we've become very close. You know,
Is that right?
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, dude. Like it's hard to nail it down, right? Because like when you talk to him, he's like, I fucking hate this, blah blah blah. And it's like, and you believe it, but then it's like you said, he's been around, he's been doing this since '81. Like he does care about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to say the right thing here, you know, and I'll leave it at he's an interesting character. He's hard to get close to. I've known him since we were teenagers, right? So, you know, a lot of people out there, they know a lot of people, but they don't have a lot of friends. I'm not saying that's the case here, but you know, he's an interesting character, and he's hard to get close to. And I think the fact that you've been in a band for so long with him is a testament to, you know, the fact that you're one of the few.
Yeah. They said it's an interesting dynamic, you know, like with my history and my path since I've joined the band and where I am now and all that is definitely, and where the band is now and all the members and all that. It's you know, who'd have thought it, but here we are.
How did the call come in? How did you you know?
So I was doing the Street Dog stuff,
right,
and they were kind of winding down. You know, the bills started to stack up at home. Like I was on the road, but like I wasn't really getting ahead. And I hadn't really been cutting hair because I was full time on the road. So my wife at the time was like, you know, look, you know, why don't you take it easy on the road for a little bit? You know, I had a 29 Ford at the time. It was sitting in the driveway. I didn't even drive it that one year. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Like I'm missing everything at home, like, you know, good weather and all that. So I quit the Street Dogs. I went home. I started managing this barbershop. And that seemed like a good idea. Like, you know, I was like linked up with this guy and I'm like, you know, I'm going to, you know, have like a 9-to-5 straight job and just not tour. And we'll see how the fuck that goes. And that lasted about 6 weeks. Craig called me and he was like, hey, you know, we need a bass player. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you want the gig? I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, of course I'll do it. And that was it. He was like, cool, you're in. Like there was no like tryout or any of that. Like he was like, cool, you got the gig. I had to learn 50 songs or whatever.
Is it safe to say that like Craig was like the musical director of the band? Like
at the time, yeah, because like the band was in a really bad spot, like back in like 2012. You know, like Jackie Benton had some hot water, and so Craig was trying to navigate that and you know, continue, you know, with things. Didn't want to see the band die like that, and that was that. So he was doing his thing behind the scenes, and then I joined the band. And I helped out with what I could, you know, behind the scenes and to propel the band and keep things in motion. And that's that, you know. So it was a lot.
Is this your sister, Christina?
Yeah, my cousin. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, the man you've become. Mom and Dad would be so proud of you too. Aw, right on. Well, yes, Christina. That's what the show's all about. So yes, good. Yeah, so this looks like early on. Like
I forget that I had a beard, bro.
Yeah. When I first saw it, I'm like, is that him?
Yeah. That was early on. Yeah, I decided, I was like, you know, let's see what having a fucking beard looks like. You know, it's like 2012. Everyone's trying new shit, right? And that's actually Jack was heavy. Jack was heavy there, so that was right when I joined the band.
Right. Is that a Fender Squire you're playing? What is that?
Yeah. So on one of the last Street Dogs tours, we went out with Matt Freeman's band, Devil's Brigade. And so they were direct support. And so it's Freeman and, you know, two of his buddies playing. And, you know, every day he's logging in his own gear and, you know, setting everything up. I'm like, dude, I'll take care of that. Don't worry about it. Uh-huh. So I ended up helping him out for that tour. You know, kind of stage managing the whole tour and all that. So at the end of the tour, he gave me a bass. I was like, fuck
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
dude, thanks. Yeah. That's a Matt Freeman Squire bass.
Wow.
That is like
That's his signature model.
that is his signature model bass. Yeah.
Let's take another look at that. There you go.
It's a fantastic bass. I do recommend it. Like,
There
I
you
think they only retail for like $300 or $400, man. But like, that is a rad bass. It's super fun to play.
Wow. You still have it?
Oh yeah. My kid will have that one, dude.
Yeah. This is. Oh, here you go. 2016, and our friend took this one. There you go. Yeah, she sent me some shots. Now, before Corey joined, who was playing drums?
That is JR on drums. He was in a band, New Lows, great band.
Okay.
He took the gig because he was like, "Fuck yeah, I want to play drums for Slapshot." But the reality, like, he had a real regular 9-to-5 job and all that. Like, he couldn't really tour, but didn't want to say no, so he did that one tour, and that was that.
Got it. Yeah,
great kid, great drummer, but like,
he didn't look familiar.
Yeah, it was like, all right, this is what we got coming up, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I can't do any of that." It's like, all right, well, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, right.
We're not slowing down.
Yeah, and that's one thing. My perception was with you and Craig and Jack for a while there, man. You guys would go out and definitely do work, man. You guys were working, man.
Yeah, right when I joined the band, we did the self-titled record. Yeah. And then right when Corey joined the band, we did Make America Hate Again. And then actually there was a Stars and Stripes record in between that, and then a couple 7-inches. So yeah, like when it was the three of us, we were just cranking it out. Like, we were again trying to build back the brand of Slapshot. Like, it was in a dark place for a little while, and like we have no delusions that we're going to be Iron Maiden by any means, but it's like we definitely want to end this thing on a high note. We've been lucky enough to be able to do that.
But I think a part of it with you guys is, you guys rolled up your sleeves and got out there and did the work and grinded. And, I'd see these guys are out doing, 30 dates in Europe. You guys were like, look, and I'm like, look at these guys are playing like, every nook and cranny. These guys are not scared. They're fucking doing it,
Yeah, that was it. I mean, we literally like when I first joined, it was like rebuilding the band. It was a lot of work, man. A lot of work.
Yeah.
And like the numbers now, we can see it. Like, we're back up.
Yeah.
Like every band, like they're gonna have their peaks and valleys and all that. But it's a direct result of getting out there and grinding and letting kids know that we do give a shit about hardcore, and we give a shit about this band, and here we are. Still doing it.
I know this record, Make America Hate Again, is a 2018. It's a little later. But like I said, this is a record, in doing my homework for the show, this and the American War Machine record we'll get. But this fucking record, I love. It sounds great. Could you give us any perspective on it?
Yeah, I mean, it was you know what I mean? Like, Trump was in office. A lot of fucking weird shit was going on. You know what I mean? Like, everyone just fucking angry, man. It was like, all right. And then, I don't know, like, I'm not a huge political guy, like, my opinion on politics doesn't fucking mean shit, right? But it's it's I feel the same angst I did when I was 14 at 44, man. It's still gonna be fucking us against them. It's still fucking hardcore dudes and fucking kids and more class shit than it is, left and right, in my opinion. And that's it. Like, I mean, Jack's not a super political guy either, fucking thank God. But so like, our songs aren't overly political, but like there are hints of that there, and like just kind of that anger and just, hey, we're still over here, left out,
Yeah, I love the way this record sounds, and it reminds me of this record. I'm like, what is this? I love this record. I'm like, I love this record. What is this record making? It's making me feel a little bit like this record, this Exploited record. Yeah, man. It has this for me. Just it has, and I love this record. My friend Robbie plays on it. I love this record, Craig Silverman really. I felt like it's hardcore with a real good guitar player that's got a real good tone, And I think Craig is really great on that record, man.
Dude, and he's such a studio like
Is he a
he
studio
can play
guy?
live. He can play live, but he fucking hates the studio because
Ah.
his right hand is so good. Like
Right.
he will triple the guitar parts in 15 minutes, and he's just like, all right, let's just go, banging out like song after song after song. And I'm like,
Sure.
and then I got to lay down the bass part. I'm like, dude, how the fuck does this song even go, dude? Like, I don't even remember it. Like, you know, like we wrote it 6 months ago, and now I got to lay it down. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, so like I would always have to take. I'd have homework, you know. I'd be like, I'd listen to all his guitar parts, and I'd come in the next day and lay the bass stuff down. But
Do you enjoy the recording studio?
Not so much.
Yeah, me neither.
I was like, especially with Craig, because it's just super intimidating. Like the dude is so fucking good. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm just trying to keep up with that. Just trying to like pull my weight, you know. Like live, whatever, we can have fun and jump around and all that. But like, yeah, in the studio, you gotta get it right. You get those like Craig Silverman daggers from across the room. It's like shit. All right, gotta get it right.
Oof. I know when you and I know I'm skipping around here a little bit. Hold on, let me find this one picture. Where is that great shot? Here we go. Okay, yeah, so he's in this. Okay. I know we're skipping around here, but this must have been a lot of fun when you got the call to step in with your friend Craig Silverman and do some AF gigs.
Yeah, that was that was
yeah, huh?
That was real. That was real. When I got that call, I was like, oh shit, all right. So yeah, when Mike had his daughter, they knew like the timing, roughly, you know, what it was going to be, and they had like a 10-day run, and I was already playing in Slapshot, and Craig was like, hey man, you want to do this? Like, yeah, you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like that, like for real goosebumps when I was first playing that stuff. You know, like we practiced during a sound check, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
like,
there's no practice. There's no practicing in AF. You just have to know your shit.
You just
right?
get up there and do it. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" Like
Yeah.
I stumbled out the gate a little bit, and then, but that was it, man. That was super fun. I ended up doing like 5 shows with them, and
that's cool.
Yeah, that was a dream come true to say the least. You know, like just to know these guys. You know, like, as a kid, like you know, loving the records and all that, and let alone like being on stage with them. You know? Yeah, that was Amityville. I think that picture was.
Are there any places? And I know you're not going out there with Slapshot doing the volume of dates that you used to do. But are there any places that when you see on the itinerary, like are really like have been special for you personally that you just wow, we're going back to, man, I can't. Yeah. What places did you put the work in? And like really were just received well and they love you?
Yeah, that's super easy. First and foremost, Coney Island in Leipzig, Germany.
Of course, right?
I love that room. It's so much history in that place. Like it's fantastic. The kids rule. That was my first show I played with Slapshot live. It was at Coney Island, November 30th, 2012. Yeah, literally the funnest I've ever had on stage. I'd been there obviously before with the Street Dogs and DKM, and I guitar tech for Sick of It All. I think we did a show there as well. But yeah, that's literally hands down my favorite place in the world to play. Like SO36, a close second, but like
Berlin, right?
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, being able to do what we do and travel the world and go everywhere and not just like, oh, cool, I've seen Paris. It's like I've got a lot of friends in Paris that I want to go catch up with and go have dinner with and all that I've built up these relationships with and all that. Like that's what's rad. Like going to see our friends in Austria and like, you know, going to see Anna and Wim in Belgium. You know, like that's it's nice when like the first time you go over there, it's very overwhelming. And then you go there, and then eventually it becomes like, "Hey, this is my town." You know? Yeah. It's like, oh, cool. Like, it's like I know I can go get strings if I need them. They're up around the corner. I know if this, you know, I know the pizza spot. You know.
Yeah.
It becomes like that, and it's that's what's rad about touring and being able like seeing the world the way we get to see it. You're not a tourist anymore. Like you're kind of out there just doing it.
For sure. I know you guys have played a lot of Eastern Bloc countries like Poland and and you seem to be very well received over there.
Yeah. I mean, those kids rule, right? Like Serbia.
Yeah.
Bulgaria. Bulgaria's got a great hardcore scene. Croatia. Our agent, Sander and Martin they're dialed in over there. And like, we never really did it with MAD. We played Budapest the last couple of trips. Budapest is fantastic, man. Like, it's such a rad scene. And so we've been going through there a lot more, and like this, the kids are stoked that bands are coming through now. And I don't know, again, like if it was like an MAD thing or what, but our agents now, like they put us through there, and the shows are great. So we're gonna keep going back.
Yeah, this is On sent this to me. I guess this is from Germany fairly recently. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Yeah. No, not Bog. No, that's not Bogota. Hold on, let me look at the picture. Hold on.
No, that's Europe. Sure. I think
Mission Ready, Germany. Is that right?
Yeah, Mission Ready Fest.
What is that? That's the name of the fest.
Yeah.
The Mission Ready Fest.
Yeah.
Let's take it.
Yeah, we did that with H2O, Sick of It All. I couldn't tell you who else after that, but I was hanging out with the friends. You know what I mean? That's what's rad. Like, you get over there, like, you just hang out with everybody from back home and just party.
Yeah. Do you enjoy kind of playing these kind of big things, these big fests?
Yeah, the big fests are cool, because again, like, you're hanging out with like all your friends. Like I'm already seeing like the stuff that we like. They're starting to announce the fest that we're playing in June and July, and like we're on a big show with Bane and AF and a bunch of other bands, and it's like, oh great, like at least I'll get to see the fellas and we can all hang out and do our thing. And it's both. Like the small clubs that are hot and sweaty and crazy are super fun.
Yeah.
Playing a nice stage, you know what I mean, and catering is all right.
We mentioned that a lot and talk on the show a lot. Is that like you look at these festivals, you're like, oh, and in Europe especially, you'll be on a fest and it'll be like, oh shit, look who else is on. Like, but it'll be like, David Bowie, Kiss, and like I mean, I haven't been out European festivals in a minute, but when I was out with Biohazard, in the 90s or whatever, the festival lineups in Europe are so eclectic. It's like, wow, I could go fucking see, Mayhem and Kid Rock,
Yeah. Especially like we did Exit Fest in Belgrade, and it's fantastic. And like, like there's a hardcore stage, and the hardcore stage is like, a couple thousand kids. But then like the main stage was like Fergie, and it's like 100,000, right? And it's
right.
Yeah, it's nuts. And like you're playing this like fortress, and every time you walk around a corner, it's like another tent or like another like little cave, and like the folk band or like some techno stuff. It's super fun. Fun playing out there.
K. Clark Leasing asks, did you guys ever have a hard time getting out of the country on tour? I mean, you guys ever get kind of messed up a little bit on that stuff? But it always seems like you're out there doing it, so you must have it dialed in.
Yeah. So I'm actually the only liability in the band. I can't go to Canada, but I can go everywhere else. So it's fine. Like the EU.
Go ahead.
The EU. So their rule is like if your country of residence will issue you a passport, then they'll accept you.
That's cool.
So
Canada's always a problem.
I've been to Canada in 20 years. So.
Does Slapshot go up there without you, or?
Yeah. Canada. So Keith Bennett filled in once.
Yeah.
To play a festival up there, and then Brendan, who's in Madball, had filled in for me another time. But
yeah.
But I know it. So apparently, if you spend a bunch of money, you get a packet saying that blah blah blah. Because again, I got a fight 25 years ago, right? But it's like it's still enough to keep me out of the country. But they want you to pay all this money, and then it still doesn't guarantee you like you're gonna get in. So I'm like, all right, well then I'm not gonna do it. Like, because it's time, money, effort, and all that. Like.
And the last thing you want to do is get to the border with your fucking band and then find out you can't get in.
Exactly.
That's a disaster.
Yeah. So that's why we just haven't booked shows in Canada.
Rich Zola says, don't even get me started in Canada.
Yeah.
Canada's.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, Brendan's the MVP these days, huh? He's in Madball
yeah.
now, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I guess Whitney says Brendan had to fill in when Sheer Terror went too. He's the go-to guy when you're going to Canada and you need a bass player.
That's the thing. Like he's a talented player, right? Like I'm a player. Like he's a talented player. Like he could just like, all right, cool. Like send me the set list. I'll see you tomorrow. Like he's that guy. I'm not that guy. I gotta practice for hours and hours.
I'm a ham and eggs guy. He's
That's it.
Yeah. It reminds me of the story of Todd Youth when he played with Motorhead. He got the call. He got on the plane to go to the gig. He's listening to the stuff on the plane. He's learning the stuff. He goes to the sound check, right? They play one song, and Lemmy takes off his bass, and Todd's like, "What about running through the set?" He goes, "It's Motorhead. If you don't know it by now, you're never gonna know it." And that was it. And he told me this story. It's a funny story. And because he thought, they were gonna go through the whole set at the sound check. They did one song, and Lemmy walked off. It's, if you don't know it by now, you don't know.
That's hard, man. Yeah.
That's. Can you imagine?
The first time we played, I was saying in Leipzig, we did 16 Valve Hate. I had never played it with the band. And like he just called it out. I was like, I guess he didn't realize that we'd never played it. I was like, all right, here we go. Hopefully I know it. It ended up coming out fine. I watched the video of it. I was like, that sounds all right.
You're just watching Craig, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? All that. Hey, let me take a sponsor break. Be a couple of minutes, and we'll come back and let's talk about American War Machine. We'll bring Lori Dawn on a little bit, and we'll keep going in our journey, okay?
Cool, man.
See you in a couple. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today is Ryan Packer. We're talking about Slapshot, American War Machine, being a barber. We're going to talk about being a promoter and a hell of a lot more. Let's do a little sponsor stuff. I'll be right back.
Peace. What it do? Welcome to NYHC Comics at 117 Main Street, Dobbs, Surrey, New York. I'm Debo the Pro with my homie
Lee Farley.
Welcome to the spot. Specializing in yesterday's and today's comic books, rare CGCs, toys, collectibles.
Got skateboards, old school tapes, Magic the Gathering, Warhammer.
Video games, original art pieces by your favorite New York City and worldwide artists. Let's go. Skate decks all day, baby.
We also have the young reader section here for like 10 and under. Pops. People love the Pops.
Star Wars! We are New York Hardcore. We always rep the scene. Let's get it on.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Hey guys, Vlad from Organic Grill. As you can see, we're in new location on West 3rd Street, right by Blue Note and Comedy Central. The place is bigger, kitchen is bigger, we have more varieties, more food. We are looking forward to treat you guys with great dishes. All Hardcore Chronicles, welcome to Organic Grill. We are going to serve all the events as we usually do, and we are happy to see you guys.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
And we're back. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Hey, want to mention a couple of upcoming shows. This Sunday is the CBGB 50th anniversary with Dana Crystal, Hilly Crystal's son. This is going to be a very interesting show. That's this Sunday, February 25th. A week from Sunday, the day after, I am up in Albany with Biohazard. We're doing Biohazard Brick by Brick. Mike Valente, what's up? Concrete Ties. Violent by Design and Torn Out. The day after that, getting in the car right after the show, coming back because Sunday, March 3rd, Drew Thomas from Bold and Crippled Youth is on the show. Then we got from Conservative Military Image. That's right, Joe Ackerman. Wednesday, March 6th. Looking forward to having this young man on the show and talking about his great band. Sunday, March 17th, Paris Mayu from Agros, formerly of Cro-Mags, celebrating the release of Skateboard Fight music video. Mike Score Sunday, March 24th from All Out War. Phil Paleo from Cop Shoot Cop and Swans, The Children, and That's Far Enough on Sunday, March 31st. Wednesday, April 3rd, Bob Chaparty. This is going to be a very cool one, Concrete Marketing. He used to do the Foundation Forum conventions out there. Really smart guy. This is going to be a really interesting, a lot of perspective on the 90s hard rock scene. Scored this guy after a couple years, Cliff from the Freeze, Wednesday, April 10th. Is that April 10th? Excuse me. Yes, April 10th. And then Sunday, April 14th, John Connolly of Nuclear Assault, co-hosted by Howie Abrams. Just want to mention, please support the show. There's a PayPal address. I got to shout out some new patrons. The call went out and a couple people got on board, and I appreciate that. New patrons, Yo Around, Walter White, and Jason Viterriti. Always such a difficult last name to pronounce, Jason. But, a couple new patrons. Thank you for getting on board with the show. Thank you for supporting the show. There's a PayPal address if you want to make a donation. There's also a super chat function. We're taking questions towards the end of the show. If you do a super chat function, it comes through in color. I can't miss you. You go right to the front of the line. Also, if you have a communication device, which something tells me that you just might follow the show, as well as me personally, on Instagram at Stone Films NYC. Also, if you're watching this in a rerun, please subscribe to the channel. If you're watching the show right now, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. I am told that those are good things to happen. Also, I want to say, we're on the patron thing, not just patrons. I'm an accessible guy. You can reach out to me anytime. I am very accessible. So don't be shy. You can reach out to me anytime about your band, or if you have any ideas on who you'd like to see come on the show. So there you go. There you go. Let's see who's going to be on the show. So that said, join Patreon. That's really the way to go. That's the best way to support the show. And I appreciate. Oh yeah, the walking tour. Fuck, I'm doing the walking tour. Why don't I have that? When is the walking tour? All patrons, we're doing the walking tour on Monday. When is it? Oh, here it is. Monday, March 4th. All patrons. The Drew Stone Cinematic and Music Walking Tour is heading out Monday, March 4th. If you're visiting New York City and you're around on that day and you'd like to do it, reach out to me. It's a fun tour. We're going to have a couple special guests. It's a real great day in New York City. I should be putting that flyer up. That said, let me clear the deck a little bit. You know what I want to mention? I want to mention that this is coming up, right? This is you know what? Enough of me talking about me. Let's bring on our friend Lori Dawn. What's up?
Hey, how are you? How you
good.
doing? Good. I'm enjoying the show so far.
Yeah, man. I enjoy the show too.
Yes.
Not just because I'm hosting it. I just enjoy I just enjoy our guests and talking music,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So tell us about this. What's going on here?
Okay, so this is an event, an art event happening at Bridge 9 Records in Beverly, Massachusetts. Chris Wren is starting to do some art shows in the warehouse of his amazing brick and mortar shop there. This one is going to be with Mike Gallo. A lot of you are familiar with his work. Christopher Micken, I hope I said that right. He is also known as Failed Imagineer. He does a lot of graphic work and some cool stuff with like some retro designs and logos that everybody will recognize. And then I'll be there with my ceramics. And that's going to take place on May 4th. It's a Saturday. And we're going to have some fun, play some cool music, have some cool art.
And Larry Kelly is involved in sort of making this
Absolutely.
happen.
Larry is the man. Yeah. He helped set this up for us. Mike's been wanting to come to do a Boston area show with his art. I know a lot of people are familiar with it. We started out doing, canvas work that was, kind of graffiti, urban style. But he's really, he's really evolved into just an amazing, really cool artist. He does a lot of stuff with like resins and shapes and, saws, and it's really cool.
Good.
So it's gonna be a really fun day, and we'll have some snackies, and
I'll try to get up there for it.
Yeah, some cool music.
But it's tough because I got this in the same room a couple weeks before it. I'm moderating the Ray Capo From Punk to Monk book signing and Q&A.
Yes, on the 20th.
This is the. Excuse me.
Yeah, in Beverly, it's on the 20th, right?
This is the 20th. So I got to drag my ass up there to do that. Drive home the next day, for a show. There's a lot going on. So hopefully I can come back up for your thing.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great. And like Salem is like 5 minutes away, so it's a great trip. And
well, me and Rochelle are coming up, and we're staying at our hotel in Danvers, Massachusetts.
Which you have to send me the information for.
Oh yeah, right. Larry Kelly says all Boston people come to the art show. And Elise, can't wait for the art show. Good. Hey Elise, I got to personally thank you for drinking half the bar at the Bowery Electric show on Sunday. Really appreciate it. Thank you for making the show a success, Elisa. Really appreciate it. Single-handedly drinking half the booze in the establishment.
That's one for the team.
Fucking you rule. Well done. So, hey, somebody asked just before we bring our guests back on what the walking tour is. My walking tour. It's I've been doing it for a couple years. Haven't done it that much since the show started. It's free to all patrons. We basically what?
I'm looking at Eddie's comment.
I want to
drink.
Hold on, let me get this out of the way first. All right, with a straight face. It's a cinematic. We talk about. We walk around the city. Bunch of locations, stuff where I've done music videos, famous places, famous music places, and kind of talk about what's going on. It's a lot of fun. Here's another flyer. It is a great time. So that's coming up in a couple weeks. If you're in New York and you'd like to be a part of it, you're certainly welcome. If you are a patron, it is free. Hey, listen, fuck the walking tour. Who gives a shit about that? Elisa, everybody wants to drink with you. So Elisa is the best. It heads out of the walking tour heads out of Times Square at about 10 a.m. on that Monday. So reach out to me, and we'll put you on the list. It's not, we can only fit so many people on the boat. So if you're interested, let me know. So, hey, An wants to drink with you too. And that's no joke right there. Yeah. Boy, that said, God damn,
I should mention that
how about the
art show will be a dry event.
Can we drink on the walking tour? Excuse me, Elisa. I have a personal favor to ask you, Elisa. Can you come out on my walking tour? Because if you come out, obviously about 30 people are going to want to come just to hang out with you and drink. So. Hi, and welcome to It is the Drew Stone Drinking and Cinematic, mostly drinking, a little bit of cinematic and music tour. So there you go. Anyway, all right, enough already. Let's bring our listen, whether you're straight edge or not, you still want to come out with Elisa and drink. You don't you can drink anything you want. It doesn't have to be booze.
Right.
That said, let's bring our guest Ryan Packer back on the show. Hey man.
What's up?
Just getting silly, man.
The walking tour sounds fun now. I'll walk around New York.
You know, it's like the process of weeding out, right? What was I thinking about doing a music and cinematic walking tour? I should be doing the Elise Let's Just Fucking Party tour.
Walk around and get like the old days, right?
Yeah, right. Let's just fucking go from bar to bar and just fucking and get crazy. Yeah. You know. Let's talk about. Let me see. Where's this picture? Where's my favorite? Yeah, here we go. Let's talk about this band. Lori is a big fan as well. Could you give us some perspective on American War Machine? How did it come together? And you know, what's sort of the current status of the band? Yeah,
so years ago when Craig was in the band, it was in Blood for Blood. Big Truth, all the way on the left there, was just hanging out with the band. He was just on tour, and the whole joke was the American War Machine was rolling through Europe again, and then so it was going to be this whole other band with Craig and Ian from Blood for Blood and Truth, and they didn't have a drummer. You know, it just been knocked around over and over for a couple of years, and then I think Johnny Rio was going to be in the band at one time, and Truth just kept pushing it. He's like, "Yo, let's do this War Machine stuff. Let's do this War Machine stuff." And then I somehow got into the fold. Like they needed a bass player because Ian was going to play guitar, Craig was playing guitar. And yeah, Corey was always the drummer. Yeah, it was just easier to like just do it in the Slapshot practice space and all that. So we started writing some songs, and it was a lot of fun. And then it was like a year later, we got back in the room again and wrote some more songs. Mm-hmm. And then we just went and recorded them. And that was it. It was a very, very slow process. A lot of talk, a lot of hanging out, a lot of, hey, we should record that stuff that we wrote that one time and all that. And then
that's what ended up on this.
Yeah, that was it. So
this fucking record crushes, bro. I love this. Thank you,
dude. That was for real. Like that was 2 practices, and then okay, cool. Like let's go lay it down. Like
well, you know what? I guess after talking to you, you had Craig Silverman.
That's it, man.
Right? I mean, he leads the charge on this record, man.
Yeah. His tone on it it's amazing. We recorded that old school. We were in a basement in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Battle Ruins did their record there. Trevor Vaughn, great engineer, literally just get a computer and some cool mics, and we just played it and recorded, and that was it. We wanted to capture that rawness of what the sound of the band is, you know, not overproduced, not, you know, this is a little more raw, and I think we got it.
Yeah, it has a great sound to it, and it's kind of like what Drew was saying before. It's just a great, it's like a great hardcore record with just amazing guitar on it. So
good.
Yeah, I really like it. I also hear a little bit, you know, it's just a really good, aggressive, angry, hardcore band with a little bit of I hear a little bit of Motorhead in it.
Yeah, little Motorhead, little Discharge, you know, like something like a step away from Slapshot, but like it's funny because like we were all essentially the same band. It was like, all right, let's just kind of mess with our settings a little bit and just do something completely different.
Yeah. I really like the lyrics to the songs as well.
I don't
Truth dialed in on it.
I don't personally know Truth, but he's great on this record. He's great.
Yeah.
This record it's definitely a little more political than like the Slapshot stuff, without being overly political. You know, like we're not like a Drop Dead or anything like that. But you know, we kind of we get our message that, you know, what we're against and you know what we're not going to get in line for. And
you guys played fairly recently, right?
I don't think that show happened actually. Did that show happen?
There you go.
I don't know. Maybe I think we played.
When was the last time you played?
No, yeah, we played that show actually. We played that show. That was the last show, because the one before that, which that one got canceled.
Right.
Yeah. So I think
Boston Takeover Tour. It was Slapshot, Death Before Dishonor, American War Machine. Risk was on that tour as well.
I think when I saw you in was it in Hingham? It was part of a motorcycle show you had that day, and then American War Machine played afterwards.
Haverhill.
Okay. Starts with an H.
Yeah. Haverhill. The other side of the state, but it's fine.
You could tell I'm not from Massachusetts.
Yeah, we were in Haverhill. Yeah. We played the '69 Speed Boys had a
right.
Had a thing. Yeah.
Right. It was up near Lowell, because I remember I was doing a show at Lowell, an art show, and yes.
Yeah.
You know who's from?
Well, Larry dragged me there. Yeah.
You know who's from Haverhill, Mass?
Who's that?
Rob Zombie.
Ah.
Yeah, you know, I do that. Yeah. His brother's like Haverhill, Andover area. Yeah.
So tell us about the Boston Takeover tour. That was last year. And this is a hell of a tour. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 shows. What was the idea of putting this together?
Yeah, this was something that we bounced around for years. Like, it's like, hey, we should do, initially it was like Slapshot, Unseen, Death Before Dishonor. You know, we had thrown that idea around, and I don't know if our agent just didn't want to shop it or what. They're like, no one's gonna get it over here. You can't do punk and hardcore together. And I was like, well, we're all friends. Like, we can do it here. Why can't we do it over there?
Yeah.
But it never had any traction. And then again, like my agents now, they fucking rule. So I was like, hey, this is what we want to do. They're like, awesome. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So yeah, like, they got us a bus and threw all, 17 shitheads on it, and
wow, everybody on one bus, huh?
Yeah, we were on the same bus. Yeah, we had the same backline, same bus. Like, yeah, we had a blast. That's a lot of fun.
And there's a lot of cross pollination there, right? I mean, you and Craig are an American War Machine, and was Craig playing guitar and Slapshot on this run?
Yeah, so Corey is in a War Machine as well. So it's literally
right.
So Craig was filling in on guitar. Actually, he hasn't been in the band in years, but he was filling in for us for Slapshot. So it worked out. He got the double dip, and so essentially it was Slapshot with a different singer would open the show, and then Slapshot would close the show.
Yeah, here's a shot of the whole. Here's a shot of the whole bus, huh?
Yeah, yeah, that's all of us.
But, 17 in a bus, man. Oh, oof, boy, that's a lot.
So now Ty, the guitar player Slapshot, is also playing in War Machine. Because as we were talking earlier, everyone's got commitments and all that. When Craig's out with AF and we still want to do War Machine, we can still do it without him. We do it with Ty, and then when Craig's available, he jumps in, and vice versa. If Ty's not available, Craig will jump in. And sometimes we're 5-piece, sometimes we're 4. We figure it out.
Yeah, I want to see American War Machine. So next time it's happening, I definitely want to see that. What else? What else? Laura, you got anything else as I'm kind of picking through this stuff?
So just that I
oh wait, here's a good one. I'm sorry. I got one here. Here's a shot. There you go. How's that?
Oh,
there's on.
There you go. Nice. There you go, on. There you go.
That's awesome.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead, Lori. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's really cool. No, I'm looking forward to seeing the cafe finally, the Dipper.
Gonna come down to Dipper Cafe, get some pizza.
Yeah, absolutely. You got vegan pizza still, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I've
cool.
got vegan pizza with all vegan toppings. Whatever meat topping, we have a vegan substitute for it.
So
Nice.
while we're here, Ryan, tell us about the Dipper.
Yeah.
What is it? And give us the background.
So yeah, the Dipper Cafe. Me and Big Truth from from Chopperhead, the ITI, American War Machine. That's his father's bar. Before it was his father's, it was his uncle's.
Okay.
So it's been in his family for forever.
I see.
We had the opportunity, like they were getting out, and so we bought the place. It's been about 15, 16 months since we bought it.
Wow.
Opened the kitchen about 4 months ago. I grew up eating South Shore bar pizza. I know enough to know that I'm not a restaurateur, but I can make some pizza. So
Nice. And you just redid the front of it, right? That mural?
yeah. So we went to the city, and they've got parameters on what kind of neon sign you can have and all that. Like, because we've got really good frontage.
Mhm.
So they came back to us. They're like, "Oh, you can have a 4-foot sign by like 2 feet." And I was like, "Nah, that's not going to work." So we literally just painted the entire front of the building, and then we just lit it up with LED lights. And the town absolutely loves it. Like no
Yeah,
one balked.
beautiful.
Everyone's like, "Oh, the place looks beautiful. Good job." So
Yeah.
But you can't. So the way around that sort of signage restriction is to just paint the whole building.
just paint the whole building. Yeah, like you see, like the little sign on the awning, the neon sign would have been just a little bit bigger than that. And we were like, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah,
Is that because there's
right?
is that because of like a historic society there, or
No, that's just whatever their sign
the-
parameters are. Yeah, but so yeah, we put LED lights and all that. The whole thing glows, and it looks fantastic at night.
And what town is it in?
It's in New Bedford.
New
You
Bedford.
can follow us on Instagram. It's Dipper Cafe NB.
Okay.
At Dipper Cafe NB.
Yeah, New Bedford is where we have the
What's
whaling
up with
museum.
that? Woo!
That's bar pizza, man. That's not New York. That's not Boston. That is south of Boston, specifically 10-inch bar pizza.
Man,
It's
that
kind of
looks
like
good.
big pizza, but it's not. It's a little different. You're gonna come down and try it.
It looks really good.
Looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I've been working on that recipe for a long time, and it's funny. Like I didn't know anything about dough or cheese or any of that stuff, and it's
Sure.
like the last couple of years of my life, I've just been kind of honing that in, and
Honing
we're having fun with it, man.
my pizza skills.
yeah, like I'm a fucking pizza guy. Who knew?
No, there's really an art to it. You got to get the right flour. You got to get the right water.
Oh yeah,
Your
absolutely.
crust,
Yeah, we gonna proof the dough for 12 hours before we can flatten it. Oh yeah, that's
That's a whole nother world.
It's a science to it, man.
I know nothing about that world.
Yeah, well, that's why the pizza and the bagels are so good in New York. It's the water.
Well, that's
Montreal
what they-
too.
That's
They
what they
have
say,
really
yeah.
good bagels up there.
Well, come up and try my dough. It's water's all right in New Bedford.
What else? How about do you? How did you get into the promotion thing, Packer? Like when did you sort of start, putting on shows and tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean that started like doing the Slapshot stuff. Like instead of just doing all right, cool, Slapshot's gonna play Boston. I'm like, oh, let's make it an event. Let's make it like a 2-day thing. Let's keep like the scene kind of give it some juice. And so we'd start with that. Like I learned to do all that shit like with the years with Johnny Rio and all that. And so it all, by the time I got to Slapshot, it was like I had the skill set and I had the ideas and all that. I'm like, all right, cool, let's execute it. And so it started with that really. And then it just kind of took off. They're like, all right, well, I can do this without Slapshot being involved. And
excuse me, but I guess also I'm assuming from traveling the world day after day and walking into situation after situation and interacting with promoter after promoter, you sort of figure out there's a right way, there's a righter or better way to do things, and then there's a fucking shitty way to do things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to think that bands like to play my shows, man. I try to keep things as smooth as possible. We just had Hooligan Holiday at the Paradise Thousand Cap Room. Like it was a fantastic weekend. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Jorge, our friend Jorge says, building the Oi scene in Boston. Yeah, I know you guys just did a Hooligan Holiday thing. Yeah,
man. Yeah, having a lot of fun, man. I get a lot of bands, coming through. Actually, I got Lions Law coming back. I've got Anti-Heroes coming through. I've got Flatfoot 56 coming through. I'm going to announce all that stuff within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, a lot of good things. I'm still trying to pick up. My dear friend Jimmy Flynn had passed away.
Ask about him. Yeah.
So him and I were doing a lot of shows together, and we had one show that we had booked together, Negative Effects show, that looks like it's going to get rescheduled. I try to keep it to everything that he booked, and just the math doesn't add up. The timing is off, so we're going to move the whole thing. I'm going to try to keep every band on the bill, but time constraints and all that. So that'll most likely be late August. But
let me ask you, who was Jimmy Flynn, and what did he mean to the Boston scene there?
Jimmy Flynn was a character. He's from Quincy, born and raised, but he gave a shit. He gave a shit about a lot. He gave, didn't quite take care of himself, but he took care of the scene. He took care of his friends. He was a really good kid. He'd been booking shows since he was a teenager. Been playing in bands and all that, and all the good shows, all the big shows, were all Jimmy Flynn production. Hardcore Stadium.
Yeah.
He named it. He turned that shitty Elks Club into a destination, and a lot of bands, national acts played there, a lot of local acts played there, and that's it. He literally carried the torch of Boston for a long, long time, and there's definitely a hole in the city right now. We're not really sure who, I'll book some shows and when I can, but they're big shoes to fill, man. He spent so much time, effort, and energy, doing it.
He was a beloved figure in Boston, and he was just another one of those people that just loved music.
Yeah. No, he gave a shit. He loved loved being around it and being a part of it, and he'll be missed for sure. He'll be missed.
Yeah. It makes
just so much goes into it. I know, just from the few shows that we've promoted, and every time we do it, I'm like, oh God, why am I doing this? It's just it's horrible.
Yeah, and he'd do it weekly.
So when you go someplace like we were just up with the Hooligan Holiday, and everything just goes, seemingly so perfectly without a hitch, at least from our perspective.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate it. So yeah.
Ryan, we do these. I do these shows with Larry Kelly and down at the Bowery Electric, and we've been doing them once a month for a couple years, and we're coming up on the 50th show. It started at A7, and now it's at Bowery Electric, and we just had a really great show on Sunday. And besides the fact that we played whatever, but I must say that in being sort of the promoter, or in lack of a better term, I throw the party, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I say this a lot. Nothing brings me more joy than putting on a show like that when the community and everybody comes together, and the young kids, and I like to put together eclectic bills, where it's not just 5 hardcore bands or 5 punk bands or 5 oi bands. I like to bring everybody together. Nothing brings me more joy. Not the fucking music videos I've done, not the fucking films I've made, the whatever. Nothing brings me more joy than bringing people together like that. It's really great.
Yeah. When you can do it and be successful and not lose a ton of money and have a good party, everybody, it makes all the stress worth it for sure. I do love doing it. I love being a part of it. I love, when I'm not on the road, to still be able to said when I'm in Paris, I go and hang out with the Lions Law guys. When they're in Boston, they come and hang out with me and all that. So it's what keeps it going, and just proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, you do a great job at it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lori, any before I take another break and come back, anybody you want to thank or anything you want to remind us of?
Well, I just want to thank Larry Kelly for setting up that art show for us, for me, Mike, and Chris. So looking forward to that. Shout out to Elisa and Gina and May and everybody who helps me with Women of the Pit. And that's about it. I have to run into Boston now.
Good luck. There's gonna be a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching my ways right now. I'm like, ugh.
All right. Well, have a good time in the car. I'll talk. Thank you, Lori. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.
Fantastic. Good. Do you? Before we're going to take a quick break and then we'll take questions from around the world. But I know you used to do the full speed ahead stuff. Is this you did this for a bunch of years? What was the fate of it? Is it something that you're going to resurrect? What's the status?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So I started that. I did it for about 10 years.
Wow.
By myself, just as like a little car show, like next to the USS Salem. In the way that the USS Salem is like a Korean War era heavy cruiser, right? So it's essentially a battleship. But the way that it was initially docked, it was along this pier, and you could drive along the pier. So it was this great backdrop, and like they opened up the boat for us and all that. You could walk around and have these old hot rods and a boat and all that. So that pier ended up getting condemned, and then they moved it in a little bit, and then it's like a chemical plant, and then there was some robotics company and all that. Like they didn't really love the idea of having all these people kind of milling about, and the boat people, like they kind of dealt with it, but because we brought them a lot of money, but it just got progressively like harder and harder to do.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, it's really not even worth the trouble. Like, when they got back to me, like they saw that we were growing as a show, so then they wanted more money, and I'm like, well, as the show grows, so does the overhead. Like,
Yeah, right.
But so that's that. Like, I mean, it's not impossible, but it's close to it.
Yeah, time marches on, things move on, and we have to pick and choose what we put our energy into.
Yeah, like the idea of like Scarhead playing on a battleship was fucking awesome. I'm glad we got to pull it off. You know what I mean? I just don't know how many years I can keep doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, let me ask you about Stars and Stripes a little bit. I've seen you play. I loved it. Give us the background of it and how that hand played out.
Yeah, so Stars and Stripes was always Jack's little side project, right? So that first record came out in '90, and then they did a second record that wasn't very good. I don't know what year that came out. One Man Army, like there was like one or two good tracks off of that. So like they kind of just shelved the project and didn't really do anything to it. And then when I joined Slapshot, I asked him, like I'm a Stars and Stripes fan, skinhead kid. And I was like, hey, what's going on with Stars and Stripes? He's like, I don't know, you want to do a record? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And it was the same thing. It was like me, Craig, and him got together and wrote a record. And so that record is Planted in the States. That came out
2015.
14, 15. Yeah.
14, 15,
so that's available in Europe. It is not available yet in the United States, but it's not on anything. I don't know. It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube and listen to Planet of the States, man. It's literally like that's probably my recording that and like playing that shit live is so much fun. So much fun, dude. Like that's such a different attitude. Like, yeah, we're a pro band and all that, but it's like, it's just fucking have fun. Like it's great.
Who put it out in Europe? Did they put it out in Germany?
Yeah, some dickhead put it out.
Yeah,
it was a crappy deal, and then I don't know. I think we're trying to rearrange all that. Like, it was one of those like, oh, I've got this for 30 years deal. It's like, no, dude, like that don't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's like, I did. It was some deal. It wasn't the right label, so some people didn't want to listen to it. Like, I don't know. I don't know all the politics or any of that shit.
Oh, one of those deals, right?
Yeah. So, but some dickhead anyway. You don't even return my email. So. But I think Contra Screen Printing, Contra Records is going to put out another pressing of it, and then hopefully there was talk about Bridge 9 doing it in the States, but they're not really an Oi label, so
yeah.
But I believe we are talking to Contra now about doing something with them, so it'll hopefully be like I've got a copy of it. It looks rad and it sounds rad. If I could actually put it out, like have my friends listen to it, it'd be cool.
Yeah, I saw Stars and Stripes with Slapshot, if I remember correctly, right? You guys, it was Or
Yeah, like we'll do like a weekend. We'll do, one night is Slapshot, one night is Stars and Stripes. So
right,
which
Makes
is
sense.
it's fun. Like the first time we did it in Germany, I got like the most German response from it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, so we come out and we do the Stars and Stripes, and we come back out as Slapshot, and this German kid, he's just like, "But you're the same band." It's like, yeah, buddy. Like we're the same people. I know a dozen songs. Maybe 2 dozen. But it's very German. It's like, but you're
It's like a real That's a real German thing, right?
Yeah.
But you're the
what did you
same band.
expect? Yeah.
The
Like,
fuck
I'm
did
sorry,
you
I'm
expect?
not somebody else. Yeah.
We weren't trying to pull one over on you.
Yeah.
It's not a
Right, disguise,
secret.
But you're the same band. So,
Yeah,
yes,
welcome
yeah.
to the party.
Yeah.
Who's what's the latest with Slapshot? Who's in the lineup, and what's the future looking like for Slapshot?
Yeah, so that's my brother Ty Tonkin on guitar right there.
Yeah.
He just joined the band this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, last year. We recorded some stuff with our old guitar player Dom that we like a bunch of Stars and Stripes stuff and a bunch of Slapshot stuff. And it was at the time it was like, oh, this is fucking rad, dude. I can't wait to get it out. And then we stepped back from it and then wrapped our ears around it again like a little later. We're like, actually, I could have done a little better here. I could have done a little better there, like some tweaking. And so we took a step back from it again. And then Jack and I literally like within the last 2 weeks, we're like talking about like 2 songs. We're like, hey, this song's actually we could work with this one, and this song we can work with. So I think we're gonna do a 7-inch at least with a couple songs. We've got the groundwork done. It's literally like, yeah, we're gonna tweak some stuff, and but there will be some new Slapshot stuff this year with Ty. I can tell you breaking news, world premiere news. Slapshot and Ignite are going to do an East Coast tour in September. I believe it's the 24th through October 6th or 7th. But all the major East Coast markets.
Right on.
Be on the lookout for that. It's
fantastic. And Slabs and Ignite is really throwing down these days. They have a great new singer, and they're out there doing work, man. That's
their new stuff's fantastic. Yeah, it's good to see them out. Like they're really pushing it. It's but yeah, Death by Stereo, Ignite, and Slapshot will all be out.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's just going to be the first.
That's the package. Yeah. The East Coast. Yeah. So it's going to be cool. So we get that. We go. I'll be in Europe in June, doing festivals, and then we go to Europe with Ignite in November. We're doing a month with those guys, doing one of those long ass tours. We're going to be out there for a month with them. But,
a month.
Yeah.
When you do a month like that, do you sort of partner up with other bands and get a bus together, or do you guys go in a van?
Yeah,
it'll be bus guys.
Oh yeah, us at Ignite we'll be on the bus, so
that
makes it a little smoother, because then it just turns into Groundhog Day. You're kind of getting your rhythm and you're good.
I always love the bus, man. I sleep good on the bus, man. I like the bus.
I'm one of those guys too. I'll pass out. I'm good. But like when you get to the hotels and after like you can do like 2 weeks with that, 10 days is fine. But like you do get a little disheveled like in and out of hotels every day, like for that long. So I prefer to be on a bus on a long run like that.
Yeah. Eddie says a month is hella long. We did 6 weeks with them. I guess Powerhouse raged all the way. Yeah, got it. Cool. Hey, let me take this will be a quick sponsor break, and we'll come back and we'll take some questions from around the world. Okay.
Cool, man.
See you in a minute. That's right. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by blah 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 and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Come on now, our latest sponsor, Mad Vintage. They buy, sell, and collect band shirts, primarily hardcore. You know what? I got a couple pictures too. Check out our friends. These are our friends, Mad Vintage. how about a Mad Vintage shot? This is a young man. He's a freshman in college. He started doing this when he was a teenager, and he buys and sells vintage shirts. He sent me a couple of things. Get a load of this. You know, this kind of stuff right here. There you go. So if that looks familiar to you. The DIY operation was started and is operated by a hardcore kid who just loved collecting and eventually got into vintage clothing, specifically the realm of vintage band shirts. They are always looking to buy out collections to either keep, sell, or trade. New shirts added daily at www.madvintage.com and posted on Instagram. Dig deep into that closet of crap and reach out to them. Make some dough for yourself. Help me help you. Mad Vintage. Yeah, they got a lot of, this is really, really cool stuff. And a very passionate person is behind it. Here's one more shot. Listen, you got a bunch of shirts in that closet. You know, you ain't wearing them. You need a couple bucks. Reach out to Mad Vintage. They're on Instagram. Follow them on Instagram. Go through their Instagram. The guy's got a lot of great shit. All this cool stuff. A lot of great old shirts and stuff. You know. So that said, any questions for our guest Ryan Packer? Please post them now. Go deep, get weird. Let's get to it. No, he's going to college, I think in South Carolina. He was in Jersey. I think he moved his operation down there. So, you know, there you go. And just want to remind everybody also that this Sunday is the CBGB 50th anniversary with Dana Crystal. Should be a very interesting show. So you want to tune into that. So get with your questions. Start posting. Come on. Help me help you. Let's bring Ryan back on. Hey, man. Here we go. Let me set it up. Let's see what we got.
This is where it gets dicey, right?
Well, dude, we got to put the filter on now. No, this is our good friend and supporter, Joe Ackerman, down in Tallahassee, Florida. I want to ask Ryan, what was his reaction when he first heard the song about him by Darkbuster, "Believe in Packer"?
Yeah, that was a fun day. That was a very fun day. They were at Woolly Mammoth Studios. So yeah, they were in town recording. It was the Darkbuster guys. It was like Pete laying down the drums and all that. And so yeah, I let them use my truck to get all the gear and all that shit over there. And I ended up there in the afternoon. And when I came up, they had it queued up, ready to go. They played it, and I was like crying, laughing. Like that's gonna be one of those things that like I'm gonna show my kid and just have a laugh about it. You know, it's flattering to say the least.
That's nice.
I have a song written about you.
Yeah. Michael LaRoche, whose idea was it to cover Gigi Allen at that Boston gig for Stars and Stripes? Or is that a cover you normally play?
Yeah, no, we played that. We actually recorded it. We haven't released it yet, but yeah, that's right. Something that was a Jack thing. Yeah, he was like, "Yo, we should do this song." It works.
I'm sort of surprised because I remember, we didn't like Gigi Allen in the early '80s. We sort of we stayed. Yeah. We thought it was kind of,
Yeah, well, Jack said the same thing. Like we saw him down the Cape, I guess, years ago, and he's like, "Hey, he's an asshole." But it's like, just kind of fun to just, to do.
Yeah, but yeah.
So it's "You Hate Me and I Hate You" is the song that we do. So it's a little tongue in cheek. It's
sure.
Jack has his fun with it, and that's that.
Yeah. Another good friend and supporter, Walter Monster Ryan. You did an amazing job at the Hooligans Holiday show. Great show and great bands. Is this going to be an ongoing thing?
So yeah, Hooligan Holiday was Rico's thing out in Kansas City.
Right.
He started that in like the mid '90s.
Sure.
And then I think, was it 3 years ago, decided to move it around.
Right.
Because it was getting kind of stale. Like, you get a good party out in Kansas City, but then it's like every January,
Yeah.
I got to go to Kansas City, right? So
Right.
it moved to Albany, it moved to
That's right.
Jacksonville, then we did it in Boston, and then
Right.
hasn't been announced, but it's going to be somewhere warm next year. I can tell you that.
Cool.
Um,
Sounds like
but,
Florida.
I love you, Monster. Good to hear from you, pal.
Yeah. Another great Boston guy. Sean, thanks for coming down. It was great to see you at the show on Sunday, man. It
Sean
was
rules.
really meant a lot that you were there. Sean asks, favorite bands to see live, and you've seen quite a bit. Anybody that you just love to kind of see live?
Yeah, like Ignite is definitely one of those bands, dude.
Sure.
Like I'm excited to tour with them, but like because they were a West Coast band that didn't come through very often, like the handful of times that I've got to see them, like just like Zoli was an amazing front man, and this kid Ellie's really good too. But yeah, a lot of energy. Like that band is definitely a standout band. I just missed them the other night. Municipal Waste just played. Like they're super fucking fun to see live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
says Bishop's Green.
Yeah, Bishop's Green was great. We just did. I got to see them for the first time. That's another one of those bands that we're on the same festival, and
Sure.
so but we're on different stages, and like they're setting up, and like we always just miss each other. And then we finally got the show. We played a festival in Eindhoven, and then they were like, "Hey, do you want to play with Bishop's Green the next day in Berlin?" I was like, 100% yes. Like it's way the fuck out of the way, but we're gonna do it. Like just because I want to do the show. And the show was fantastic. It was great playing with them. And this talk, I think we're gonna try to do some shows in the States if I can get them into the country. It's tough for them being a Canadian band.
Well, that kind of plays into this other question, Ryan. Who would you really like to get up to Boston to play?
Yeah, Bishop's Green.
As a promoter.
As a promoter, yeah, Bishop's Green for sure. I was stoked to get Noise up finally and get those guys in town. But yeah, Bishop's Green's going to be up there for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I get a revolving list and some. Yeah. I get some feelers out. So
Yeah. Jonathan Lemos Zerugia. Any fun memories from when you played Bogota, Colombia with Estado de Coma?
Yeah, that was a crazy weekend. So we played.
Let me just say, everybody that I ask about, every time you ask anybody about the time they played Bogota, it was a crazy weekend.
Yeah. We flew in. It was like a Friday. We played this festival in Mexico City, and then we flew to Bogota. Woke up, flew to Bogota, played the show, and then woke up and flew home. I definitely need more time in Bogota. The people are fantastic. The crowd was great. The club was great. Yeah, that was so much fun. Like I definitely didn't get enough time in that country.
I guess that happens a lot, man. Right? I mean, we're doing it. We're going out west to play a couple shows. You fly out there. You go from the airport to boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, they knew that, and like they were so rad. Like we played the show, and like the show was insane. And then we go back to the hotel, and like the hospitality was fantastic. Yeah. Promoter set us up. I got a nice dinner. We were in a nice place. I woke up and because I couldn't tell where we were. Like I wake up in the morning, and it's like these beautiful mountains everywhere. I was like, oh shit! Like I want to hang out, Right. But unfortunately, we had to go to the airport and fly home.
That happens a lot. One. From when back in the 90s when I was working with Biohazard, the one guy that got me hip to it was Danny Schuler, the drummer. He said, I'll never forget it. He said, I don't know how much longer this is going to last. Anytime we go somewhere, every city we go to, I wake up early and go out and do something in that city. And, because you have people that will just crash out on the bus until it's time to play again.
No, see, I'm the opposite. I'll hang out all night, and I'll enjoy the city that way, and then sleep the next day. But yeah, I'm more of the night guy. But I definitely, I'm grateful. Jack's 61, and I don't know how much longer we got. But I mean, he's in great shape. But
he is in good shape, man.
People don't want to see 70-year-old men running around like that. We'll see.
You guys got another 5 years.
Yeah. But yeah, no, very, very grateful. Like we still got we still got fuel in the tank, man. We want to go to South Africa. We want to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Like there are places that we definitely want to get back to South America for sure. It's been shit. That was 2013, 2014, maybe the last time we were in South America. So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, that's Danny from Arizona. Great interview. This Packer fella seems all right. That's, yeah,
I love that
and
guy.
also from Todd Hamilton from Warzone is out in Arizona now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We met like with Yucca Tap Room last time we were out. Yeah.
Is that what it is? The Yucca Tap Room?
Yeah, out in Phoenix. Yeah, great little spot.
Ann just sent me this picture. She said, "People travel to get their hair cut."
That's me cutting Wim's hair.
Yeah. So are you splitting your time between the band stuff, the hair cutting stuff, and the bar restaurant stuff? Is that sort of the balance that you're trying to achieve here?
Dude, I'm nuts, man. Like I'm at the barbershop. I work 11-hour days at the barbershop, right? So in between haircuts, I'm literally like emailing about the tours I have coming up. I'm emailing about the shows that I'm booking. I'm calling Cisco, putting food orders in. I'm doing it all. After this, I got to go to the bar and I got a meeting. I got bar stuff to do. Like it just never stops.
What do you attribute your work ethic to? Like if you like, what do you? Yeah, I don't. Not to be like how do you but like what is what's.
I came from nothing, dude. Like I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to do everything I can do. For real.
Fair
like I'm very grateful that things turned out the way they did. I got a fridge full of food. My kid's good. I got a good band. I got this opportunity with the bar. That's it. That's what keeps me going. I turn that work stuff, like booking shows and all that. That's also my social life. So it's like, I'm working, but I get to see all my friends and do all that stuff. So
that's great.
Yeah, so that's all I know. I'd like to slow down at some point, like go on vacation.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, and I understand. I'm like the New York version of Ryan Packer, right? I'm promoting shows. I'm doing band stuff. I'm doing the show. I got a book going on. I'm doing 2 films, and like
that's awesome.
But I agree. I think there came a certain point. When I got older, that things sort of settled down, and this is what I love doing. And we are fortunate that we're doing things that we love doing.
Yeah, definitely. It keeps my blood pumping for sure. As I'm getting older, I'm definitely taking time for the kid and family and what's important. Also, it's that's the balance is knowing when to put my phone down and like hang out with my kid and like what I mean. Like everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah. Whitney always with the wit. Ever thought about combining careers like serving people pizza while they get their haircut at a hardcore show?
if there was a way that I could get the trifecta going, give me all your money. I need a haircut money.
All at once.
Yeah,
all at once. She said you could be a pioneer.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about much. Let's just touch on it. Is your passion for old hot rods and motorcycle stuff, and how did that start for you? And I know you have a deep passion for especially hot rods. Tell us about it.
Yeah, that was just a thing. Like when I was a kid, man, I was always like into like old like vintage airplanes, vintage cars, and all that. Mm-hmm. Like I'd go to car shows. My uncle that raised me take me to car shows and all that, and air shows. I just had the brain for that, right? Like I was an engineer in the military, and I liked how all that shit worked. I especially the old stuff, because you could look at it and say, okay, this connects to this because of this, and this is what it does. Where you look under like the computer cars now and all that, I couldn't touch it. Yeah. But I did like the engineering behind it. I did like the idea of like taking something and doing something else to it that's not supposed to really happen, but it somehow works. I bought my first hot rod. It was a 52 Chevy. I was like 23, 22 years old. Wow. I bought it for like $1,800 and like totally ripped it apart, frame off, and rode that around for a little bit until I blew the motor, got rid of that, had a 29 Ford. I've had a bunch of cars, 64 Continental.
Hmm.
What
do you have? What do you have these days?
I've got so I have no cars at the moment. So I got divorced and I sold my Lincoln because I had no place for it.
Right. Because I read in an interview. By the time I was 25, I managed to save enough to buy a 52 Chevy. I'm currently driving a 64 Lincoln Continental.
Yeah,
but I guess that's a little.
So yeah, I had that Continental for years. Yeah, maybe I don't know, 6, 7 years, 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just got rid of it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Right.
But yeah, I get my eye. I'm gonna get a convertible next for my kid. You know, he's 4. I'm really thinking. I'm not sure. I don't know. A convertible nonetheless for the kid.
I mean, isn't I would assume I'm a city kid, right? I'm born and raised in the city, so car culture wasn't a real big part of my growing up. You know, it was subways and stuff like that. But for the novice, I'm assuming like, you know, and my brother was out in California and he once bought a classic car and it just turned into a money pit. I mean, isn't there a danger? I mean, I know people get you know. Isn't there a danger of it just turning into just a money pit, basically?
Yeah. I mean, you learn patience, man. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's completely impractical, right? You're gonna take a car and it's like it's not fast and it doesn't stop well and then doesn't have AC and you're gonna chop it up and you know make it louder and a little more dangerous and all that and yeah, like sitting in traffic, they overheat and mess your car up. It's a pain in the ass. Or like you work on something and like, cause you know, like you got a date or you got like a car show or something happening and like you bust your ass and you get it done. And then something else breaks like right after you like get super frustrated.
Right.
So when I got rid of my Ford, I did all right on that truck. Then that's when I bought a bike and I was married to my first wife at the time and didn't really talk about it. I was like, cool, I'm just going to do this and we'll figure it out. And I bought a little sports bike, I put it on the back, and I took her on a day trip. We went to Newport, which is like an hour and a half from here. Mm-hmm. Literally just cruised the ocean and all that, spent the day with her. And she's like, dude, this is awesome. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, she's like, we should get a bigger bike. I'm like, yeah, deal. So that was that. Like, I've had a million bikes since. Currently, I have a 77 shovelhead chopper that I built maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And then I bought a brand new lowrider ST last year. I got a 23 lowrider ST. It's got about 2,000 miles on it. Wow. And that's currently all I have. Again, I've got a 4-year-old, so buying a brand new bike is probably not the best thing I've done. But yeah. You know, we'll see.
I like what Michael LaRoche says. No such thing as a money pit. It's all love.
Yeah,
I have a 70 Super B. Love it.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah. I honestly, I do miss like garage days. My place in Dorchester had a garage out back, and I'd just be out there wrenching on the car and just having fun with it. And like, you know, it's work and but it's a passion. You know, it's you're exhausted, you're covered in oil, but when you're driving down the road, you're like, yo, I did this. There's like a pride to it as well.
Is that right there? Is a Milltown, Massachusetts car show?
Yeah. Lance Milltown, he's a great guy. That's probably one of the best shows in the state for sure.
You know, when I was doing the street bike films back in the day, all the urban street bike warrior films, in the early 2000s, we used to come up to Worcester for you call it the Summer Nationals they used to have in Worcester, and that was a circus. I went to that thing for 5 years in a row, shooting a lot of stunt motorcycle stuff. That was a wild in Worcester, Mass.
Yeah. I've never been, but you say a story, it was crazy. You know?
Yeah, but I guess it ended a bunch of years ago. But for a while, it was wild, man. Yeah, it was some wild shit. So there you go, man. Thank you so much for being part of the show today. It was.
Thanks for having me, man. We covered a lot, man. I've been talking about myself like that's a long time.
Well,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable, and everybody loved it. And anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out?
Just all my brothers, man. Black and Blue family. I love you guys. You know, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll see you soon, and I'll drop you a line. It'd be nice. We want to get up there and play, so maybe
Let's do it.
Someone asked about the negative effects thing again,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, from what I understand, somebody stepped off and they have to replace him, and it's going to take a minute as you sort of reschedule the gig. But
yeah, so Negative Effects guitar player. So the whole idea was getting the original band to do it. And he doesn't have it. He can't do it, like arthritis and all that. So I think Ty from Slapshot is going to do it with the rest of the original guys. But yeah, he needs some time. So I think we're going to move it to August. But I'm literally just waiting on Underdog to make sure that they can still do it. And I think there's like another 1 or 2 bands, but
couple of moving parts.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, it should be okay late August. I think the 17th is what we're looking at. But I'll hopefully have an announcement within the week.
Fantastic. All right, Ryan. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today was Ryan Packer from Slapshot, Stars and Stripes, American War Machine, promoter, barber. Thank you, Harris. It was a great show. But then again, that's what we do here. We do great shows. Thank you, Courtney. Much love, everyone. I can't wait to go watch the first part I missed. Hey, Eddie, what's up, man? Hey, Eddie, I think we're coming out. I think we're playing San Francisco. We're playing the Crash Fest. I think in June, Incendiary Device is playing Crash Fest. And somebody asked before, I think it was Kenny Clark. Yeah, we're heading out to, you know what? I didn't mention this other stuff before. Let me bang through this stuff real quick here. Yeah, Biohazard up in Albany, March 2nd. I will be there. And then we're heading out west. We're playing San Francisco and San Pedro with Channel 3. First West Coast Incendiary Device shows. So yeah, Kenny Clark, San Diego is Saturday, March 9th. We just got added onto the On the Streets Again 2-day fest here in New York City. We're playing on the second day with Doug and the Slugs, and Ultrasect and 45 Adapters. We are honored. We played with Doug and the Slugs, I think, out west a year or 2 ago. We're excited. There's the first night is pretty killer with Conservative Military Image and our boys in the Take. I'll be there that night as well. So big shout out to Jorge, who puts on these shows, who has much oi love in his heart. Thank you for thinking of us and for putting us on. That's happening here in New York City at the Meadows. We're playing on the 16th. There's also the 15th. The 7th, I'm moderating the Ray Capel from Punk to Monk book event at Generation Records. A bit after that, on May 20th, speaking of Boston and Bridge 9 Records, I am moderating the book event at Bridge 9 Records as well. Sunday, April 21st, free all ages Sunday matinee at the Bowery with Fahrenheit 451, Kings Never Die, Brick by Brick, Mike Valente, Black and Blue represent, the Car Bomb Parade, and Faded Line. That is the next Bowery Electric show that me and Larry Kelly are producing. And then we did talk about the art show that Laurie Dawn and Women of the Pit are doing up at Bridge 9 on that date. So yeah, so a lot happening. Is that right? Yeah. Come on over to one. Yes. Come over to Courtney, please. Come to one of the West Coast shows. Joe, bro, Mandy and I will be there. Oh, is that right? You're going to get to see us play. Well, fuck, I'll drink to that, right? I'm happy about that. That's great, Ak. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. Yeah, it looks like we're playing second on the second day. So, like I said, yep. Yeah, so many bands you heard on there's a lot going down. Yeah, I'll let you know. We haven't been added to Crash Fest yet, but it's looking that way. So yeah, so that said, yeah, Hags. And did we not mention Hags? Speaking of Hags, Rampage Fest 6. This has been updated. Hags presents. Hags is the one behind Rampage Fest, Kevin Haggerty. Rampage Fest 6, two stages, 7 bands, headlined by Adrenaline OD with Silence Equals Death, Daija, Blackout Shoppers, Fire is Murder, Iconicide, and No Compromise. Free, all ages, Sunday matinee on the Bowery. Also in Tompkins, in our beloved Tompkins Square Park on Saturday, May 25th. Rebelmatic, Incendiary Device, it's going to jump off tonight. Non-Residence Cartel, and Scott Helen, Guitar Me of One. So yeah, all that, all this and more. Looking forward to seeing you. That said, everybody, thank you so much for a great show today. Thank you for supporting the show. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Until next time, do good things and good things will come to you.
What have we become?